and pick off long range scores. That's definitely one key battle, and Russell will have to get on top there, and especially after last year the Bridge got 3 early goals when Aaron Fitz went off, and they'll want to keep it tight anyway for the first 20 minutes, unlike last year's game. I suppose another battle there would be in the middle of the field, Shane Golden is named at number 8, but probably word is he will probably play centre forward. So Liam Corey, the county man who's getting a run with Clare, got a good extended run with Clare this year in the league. He'll probably be tasked with marking Golden. He's been there probably the Bridge's most consistent player over the last 10 years or so. He's an unbelievable club hurler. A lot of stuff revolves around him, and he's they're probably one of their marquee forwards. So Corey will have to get on top in that position. I suppose on the other side of the field, look, we all know about Shane O'Donnell, what he brings to Eireog. Like, he's probably one of the top full forwards in the country, and I think Eireog will have looked at the Bridge's full back line as probably being one of their weaker lines, and they'll be looking to exploit that line. And look, with O'Donnell and Russell and your man Darren O'Brien inside, the big man inside corner forward, they have a serious full forward line. So Eireog will want to go direct with the ball, get the ball into them as soon as possible, and hopefully reap the rewards for them inside.
Thanks for that, Patrick. I suppose when you look at the way Sixmilebridge will expect to be in a county semi-final each year at least, if it goes bad for them today, they could be up against Clooney, or they could be up against their old friends Newmarket and Fergus in the next round of the championship. I suppose just to reflect back to last night's games, I know Patrick was in here watching the match with Kilmore and Clooney. Any views on what you saw last night between the two teams?
Yeah, well, look, I suppose like Eireog Kilmore will be happy with the win. Like, people were giving out about the format, the way it's the format of the championship, but like, once you step over the white lines, you want to win, no matter whether it's a challenge game or a cup game. You want to win, and Eireog Kilmore went at it from the off. I suppose Aidan McCarthy had an unbelievable first half, but there probably was a turning point just before half time for the second goal. I think it was young O'Brien went through and just fizzed the shot over the bar, and we went down. Eireog Kilmore went down, and Evan Mack buried the next ball. So that was a 6-point swing. But look, if you look at the second half, like, I think Clooney won the second half by a point, so maybe that's something to work on for Hago and the management team. But they'll be happy to be on the winner's side. I think that was their focus, get the win. But I suppose maybe the lack of games for Clooney Quinn, the lack of cup games, they were trying to blood a few new players. That definitely told for them, and maybe the loss of Peter, he's probably worth 2 men to them, or 2 men to any club. That's obviously a big loss for them. But look, they have plenty to work on. I'm sure they'll be back, and as I said, Eireog Kilmore will be happy with the win.
Okay, and thank you very much for that, Patrick. And we hand you up to Sil and the legendary former Clare hurler Tommy Guilfoyle for the match commentary today. Thank you very much.
A very good afternoon and welcome here to Cusick Park. Yet again, another first round game in the Senior Hurling Championship of 2020 as the men from Eireog taking on the county champion Sixmilebridge, who are limbering up down here to our right hand side. It's been one of those super weekends of hurling. So many games played last night and so many games to be played today, and of course finishing off tomorrow with Crusheen and Ballyea. As we said, it's a super weekend here, and Tommy, you're back in action again, I see, after the lockdown, or locked up you were, I'm not quite sure, but it's a fantastic weekend. It's the weekend, we've been told, will it come back, will it not, but it's back, and there's a buzz about it.
Yeah, and all the time during that lockdown still, one minute you think you would be back, and the next minute the figures would spike again and you wouldn't be back. And I suppose, then I think we put sport into perspective, and we had to overcome as best we can that virus, and here we are today, albeit with a limited crowd, but look at for the players' point of view, and thanks to the modern media, I think everyone will either see it or hear it today. So I think they'll be quite happy. The two teams have put in whatever work they can, and it's all systems go in a couple of minutes.
Absolutely, Tom. Well, as Tommy was saying there, you can tune in also to Clare TV on the Clare GA social channels, and also clare.ga.ie, and get your link from there. Both sides out on the field, as we said, no dressing rooms now on these particular days, so both sides out for quite a while. And let me give you the lineouts of, first of all, the men from Eireog. In goal is Philip Walsh. A full back line of Conor O'Halloran. At full back is Kieran Russell and Ty Kennellan wearing the number 4 jersey. Half back line Niall McMahon, Liam Corey at centre half back, and Aidan McGrath wearing 7. Tomas Downs and Michael Maloney in the middle of the field. David McNamara, David Jorick and Kevin Brennan in the half-forward line, while Darren O'Brien is top of the right, Shane O'Donnell is full forward, and Danny Russell wears the number 15 jersey. In goal for Sixmilebridge, and joint captain is Derek Fahey, Brian Carey, Barry Fitzpatrick and Noel Purcell in the full back line. Half back line, Shane O'Morey, centre half back, his cousin Cayman, and Pam O'Reilly wearing the number 7 jersey. Shane Golden, joint captain, along with Evan McInerney, line out in the middle of the field. Cathal Malone, Jamie Shanahan and Jason Lucknan in the half forward line. Brian Curry is top of the right, Alex Morey full forward, and top of the left, wearing number 15, is Alan Mulready. First thing that would strike you about both sides, big names on both sides.
Yeah, and again, big names missing. I suppose Sixmilebridge come into today's game as the reigning champions. I suppose, again, like every other team, they've had their couple of challenge matches, they've had their couple of weeks training. Eireog will come in. Eireog being as what we'd call out in the sticks, a towny team. They won't come in and fear Sixmilebridge. I think last year, they ran him very close. I think there was an injury, I think, to Aaron Fitzgerald, where the Bridge capitalised on. But I think speaking to Bridge people after, they were happy to get out of last year, and a point win will do for him again today.
Yes, well, he was one of their players last year. There's no doubt about that. And just looking at the team, very interesting to see Kieran Russell lining out at full back. He's been a half back around for the footballers as well. But looking forward to that.
Yeah, and again, he's a superb athlete. Probably better known as an inter-county footballer, but he's he's there for a reason. I suppose they probably felt they needed a bit of experience. As I said, Aaron Fitzgerald, unfortunately, not back yet. But when you look at David Reedy, a big loss there all. But likewise, on the other hand, Paddy Fitz is a big doubt. It's a big loss to the Bridge. He's always been their go-to player as to be the the man marker. So I suppose where they're at in their fitness for this weekend, unfortunately they don't make it, but I suppose the stakes get higher next week, next round.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to Barry Fitzpatrick and Shane O'Donnell, and also, of course, Danny Russell being picked up probably by maybe Noel Purcell in the Sixmilebridge full back line. That's going to be a very interesting, because there is the possibility, and it only just came into my head, that you could see a possibility of Shane O'Donnell and Danny Russell making it a two-man full forward line.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, for the first game of the championship, I wouldn't like that job today. Both of them have loads of pace. They have loads of confidence, and they have that scoring threat. We all know what Shane O'Donnell can do. Danny Russell has been probably one of the most consistent club forwards in the county for the last couple of years. He has lightning pace. He's not lacking in confidence, and the Bridge will have to cut out that supply, because if Eireog get a good supply in there, quality ball into them, it could be a busy afternoon for the Bridge full back line.
One of the ways the Bridge have been doing that, Tommy, over the last 2 years is for Cayman Morey to drop back as a sweeper, maybe Shane to play a more central role, something we'll be watching out for.
Yeah, and again, will they have time to perfect it? But player like Cayman Morey or Shana, they're so used to it. They can slot in at anything, and particularly last year, I think we talked about the threat of Cracklow there, and I think Cayman Morey nullified a lot of the ball that went in there last year in the county final. So he's well capable. He's an experienced head on him. But I think out the field, the Bridge will want to probably have a launch pad from that half back line and through the half forward line. With Jamie Shanahan. They likewise carry a big threat, and up front, the Bridge have the scoring threat. So I expect it to be an open, free-flowing game. I don't think it'll be tactical. I think the Bridge will be aware, and I think probably it'll be Cayman Morey's positional sense rather than playing 7 as a sweeper.
Absolutely. Well, Chris Maguire from Wolf Tones Nashuna is the man officiating today. He's out in the middle of the field at the moment. His linesmen are taking up duty as well. I see Jarlath down here in front of us. Sixmilebridge limbering to our right hand side under the old scoreboard end, and appropriately down at the town end is Eireog, of course. They're limbering up as well, back down there with our management team of Matt Chen and Jerry O'Connor, and of course Ronan Cooney taking up the managerial role back here for the men from Eireog. And as you said, David Reedy, a huge loss. There's 2 players I'm looking forward to this afternoon to see. Kevin Brennan, of course, we know Kevin for years, between the sticks. He's out the field. Cathal Malone to see coming back into form again. 2 huge players for both sides.
Yeah, and again, Kevin Brennan, he's probably one of these players that could play anywhere. His skill level is very high. He has an eye for a goal out there. Cathal Malone, look at Cathal Malone. Sometimes you don't really, because he doesn't put maybe a couple of scores on the board, but his work rate, his physicality, and his go-to man there, for puck outs and stuff, I think. So, the Bridge will utilise him Again, one aspect I'm looking forward to today is, maybe to see, our inter-county players, how fresh they are. They're like that dog that's let off the leash. They've been itching to get back. They had a lot of training done prior to the league being pulled. On the other hand, then some clubs had started early, some clubs hadn't started late. So it's going to be a mixing gathering today. And I think today, and again through this round, it's the team that hits it on the day. And I think, judging by the weekend, again, Eireog Kilnamona hit the ground running last night. I think, very impressive. The other games were probably that bit tighter. Some teams went into a lead and probably couldn't sustain it. Other teams came from behind. So it'll be interesting to see how the matches pan out.
Absolutely. You mentioned the county players. Our county senior hurling manager, Brian Lohan, just walking in at the moment into the stand, taking up his seat. And there's many, many seats down there available for him, let me tell you, because, as you know, it's almost behind closed doors here. A few tickets available to the clubs, and some of those people we see marching in at the moment. Eireog still limbering up down here to our left-hand side. As you said, you can tune in if it's possible for you to tune in, of course, to Clare TV as well on the Clare GA social channels or clare.ga.ie and pick up the link from there. I also see down in the middle of the field referee Chris Maguire just talking down here, Davy Fitzgerald inside in the middle of the Sixmilebridge dugout as well. How important, Tommy, I asked this question last night to Davy on analysis. What way would you approach the first round of this championship? I know you're going to have to close your eyes when I asked you that. Is it a no-win? Is it a cat and mouse situation? Or do you really want to see what you have? It's an ideal opportunity to try out a new plan, a new player, or something like that. You're the manager. What way would you approach it?
Well, I suppose still, particularly in team sports, right? Can you really pick and choose, your attitude? I don't think you can. I think once the ball is thrown in here today, the last 6-7 months will go. It'll be what's in front of them on the hour today, with the backup that today isn't the be all and end all. You look to get a good performance, and I suppose last night listening into the game, Clooney would have started poorly, but what they'll take away from the game is as the game went on, they grew into it. So that'll stand to them. And again, the win here doesn't put you any further ahead than the loser, in relation to the next round. So I would say give it a go. Probably. Managers will be looking at the possibility of picking up injuries. So I expect probably both sets of panels to use their extended panel and maybe the 5 subs.
That's the pep talk coming from the manager here on the analysis. We'll keep an eye on players and management. I can tell you right now, just as the referee Chris Maguire is about to throw in the ball, there's nobody inside the if there was a 55-metre line, Tommy, right now, there'd be nobody inside it, either certainly from the Eireog point of view. But the referee is the man that gets this game up and running, and it's Liam Corrie on the attack for the Eireog man. Back into the corner, trying to find Danny Russell inside there. Danny going to the ground, Noel posted right on his shoulder at the moment. Now out to Shane O'Donnell, trying to turn into the left, and again the ball up on the out over the line on the far side of the field is going to be a line ball for the Bridgemen. Shane O'Morey is the man placing this on the 20-metre line at the furthest part of the field from us here on the right at the town end, back over to the our left hand side. Shane O'Morey, line ball, cutting the ball right into the centre, picked up by Alan Mulready, trying to snap the ball, hand pass it into the centre, trying to get out there in the middle of the field is Evan McInerney. Ball going to the ground, now a foul, and it's going to be a free once again for the Eireog men in the middle of the field. And let's see who's going to stand over this one right now. I will keep an eye on that in just a moment to see who's going to be the man that's going to be stand over this free. Would normally be David Reedy, but right now it's going to be Tom Downs that's going to stand over this. Now he's going to leave it, of course, to Danny Russell, the man that's coming out to take this one, a man that has driven over so many frees in his day. Chris Maguire back on the 20-metre line, and Danny's just giving an eye to see can he get an inch or two closer to the goal, dead centre of the field, and his back is to our commentary position here. This one, no doubt, I would imagine distance won't be a problem here for Danny Russell. Let's see how he gets on in the eyes of the umpires at the back of the goal. About to strike this ball high in the air, dropping in. Derek Fahey looking up, but the umpire is looking up as well. The ball goes to the left and it goes wide in the opening few minutes of this game.
Yeah, looking down, Sil, you said about the formation up front. I think it's it's quite obvious that I think the Bridge are gone with Jamie Shanahan up front, with Danny Russell picking him up, but they also have the luxury of a sweeper back there.
Ball dropping in right into the centre, but it's fielded inside right in the edge of the goal, coming out with Ron Russell coming out with it, driving up the field, swooping the ball across to this side of the field, picked up there by Michael Maloney. Now he's been tackled out there by Shane Golden, back into the middle of the field, trying to pick it up is David McNamara. Ball goes in behind. Now coming back to Kieran Russell again. Now trying to move the ball on, but again it's taking back out and snapped up by Jamie Shannon. Into the centre it goes. Now it's taken back out again to the first side by Aidan McGrath. For Eireog on the attack. Derek Fahey is heading out doing the defensive work back here to our left hand side and drives the ball down into the middle of the field. Alan Moridi popping out of his hands, but now it's going back to this side of the field and picked up it is by Niall McMahon. Niall McMahon looking around. Now back again. McMahon linking up down there outside in the middle of the field, scooping the ball into the centre, but the ball goes in. It's gone off for a 65, says the umpire inside at the moment. The bridge protesting, but the umpire has indicated it's going to be a 65, and Denny Russell will be the man that will make his way out into the 65 metre line at the moment for the Eireog men.
Yeah, and again, I suppose when he struck it, you would have reckoned that it would be on target, but it took a deflection, and the umpire has deemed it to be a 65. So look, we'll have to wait and see. I think that Chris Maguire is very adamant. He's backing his umpire, so Denny Russell will have another pot from the 65.
He certainly is. He'll be waiting for the ball. It's about to arrive out here to the middle of the field. Shane O'Morey with his hands on his hips about 15-16 metres away from him, and don't think this one will trouble him. Let's see what happens. Almost from the identical direction of the last ball and a little closer to the goal at the moment for Denny Russell. Again pausing as he stands over this one, looking back to the right hand side, and the players back out. Alan Moridi in the corner. Now he's out around the 65 metre line. That's at our right hand side. Denny Russell again, 15 on his back, sends this one in, and again the ball going to the left of the goal, and it's going wide, and with just almost 5 minutes gone on the clock, there's still no score in Cusack Park in this clash between Sixmilebridge and Eireog. The puck out is right down the centre again, batted out into the open space, trying to get that ball away, but it comes back out to Brian Corrie. Brian Corrie sending it in, but Philly Walsh is inside in the goal, puts the hand up, tidies it up, gets it out to the far side of the field. Out it goes to Kieran Russell. He has time to look up and strikes the ball over his right shoulder into the wide open space of goal. Barry Fitzpatrick is there, and also Shane O'Donnell, but Cayman Moore is the man doing the sweeping job on the far side of the field. The ball breaks out to the centre, comes back to Cathal Malone, wins that ball, trying to get inside on the far side. Aidan McGrath strikes from way out the field, but again Philly Walsh is in the goal, cool as a cucumber, coming out with the ball in his hand, and he has loads of options on this side of the field, but he decides to go a long dropping dangerous ball just outside the 20 metre line. Up they go for it, ball falling to the ground. Who's going to be the first onto it? Barry Fitzpatrick, and Barry Fitzpatrick has been challenged by David McNamara, fouled, and it's going to be a free out for Sixmilebridge just outside their own 20 metre line, near the 45 metre line, but that's where the ball was, so probably Derek Fahey will have to take it back. 30 yards out from his own in line, about to take this one, Tommy.
Yeah, and again, looking down, I think the Bridge are after, telling Jamie Shanahan to win, because the last couple of balls, as you said, went into Philly Walsh, ball back in play.
And the ball back in play to Evan McInerney, scooping the ball into the centre, but going up for was Ty Cannell, and no advantage accruing there. It's going to be a free for the Sixmilebridge men on the far side of the field. A foul on Evan McInerney is going to be a free, and it's going to be Alex Murray that's going to stand over this one, with the clock telling us 7 minutes gone in this game. Yes, we have it. We have the correct score.
Yeah, I was watching down below. I think Christie must have had to go for batteries. It wasn't working when he pressed the button, so they're playing catch up at the moment, but we can assure listeners it's 5 minutes and 21 seconds gone.
Talk about being exact. Alex Morey standing over it. It is 5.5 minutes gone here in this first half. Alex Morey possibly will be the opening score of this encounter. Let's see what happens. Ball high in the air, umpire rushing over, picking up the flag, and that's the opening score of this clash here in Cusack Park. Alex Morey from a free, with now almost 6 minutes gone here in this first half.
Yeah, and again, Alex Morey was crucial to the Bridge last year, and he's got off on a good start. First free, first score.
That's a brilliant catch in the middle of the air by Shane O'Donnell, hand passing it out, that familiar style out to Aidan McGrath. Aidan McGrath, the strike just hooked at the last moment, and the ball going in and going to the left and going wide, and that was a tremendous catch from Shane O'Donnell, operating around the half forward line for that one. Ball coming into the middle of the field, picked up by Michael Maloney, gets the second opportunity, gets it back over to the far side of the field to Conor O'Halloran. O'Halloran setting up this attack. Shane O'Morey going in, ball going in behind, coming on to Shane O'Donnell, takes the shoulder, holds the feed. Now the ball coming out to this side, hand passing it back out to the centre, is picked up on side there by Darren O'Brien, trying to strike it. It's going to be very, very close. The umpire comes out, the ball just going inside the post as he sends it over the bar. The sides are level here, 6.5 minutes gone at 1 point apiece.
Yeah, Darren, I would have had Darren back the years at under 16 and 17, loads of potential. son of the great Bob O'Brien. Barry, myself and himself soldiers together, so he has loads of potential there. If he gets the ball, he'll be a danger.
Stories to be told on that one. Out to the first side, Conor O'Halloran coming away with it, now using Kieran Russell, and Kieran Russell again has time to look up, deliver a diagonal ball across to this side of the field, right under it at the moment. The ball just getting it off the hands inside of David McNamara, going to the ground. Here's the second opportunity coming onto that one, goes to the ground, but now it's won back by Shane Golden. Shane Golden back to Brian Carey. Brian Carey being challenged out there by David Jorick in the middle of the field, releasing it out to Shane O'Morey, but illegally, says the referee Chris Maguire, and it's going to be a free for Eireog, about 55 out from the Sixmilebridge goal, and Daniel Russell will have opportunity number 3, and they're getting closer and closer to the goal. So this again is an ample opportunity and a good opportunity for Daniel Russell to get his account up and running, and possibly Eireog's second point in this game. We'll give him the time, dead straight in front of the goal, 55 out from the Sixmilebridge goal. The man with the hurley up in the air right in front of him is Shane Golden. Let's see what happens from Daniel Russell. Has he found the radar? He certainly has, as he slots the ball straight over the black spot, straight over the bar at the moment, and it's with 2 points to 1 here as we head into to the far side of the field here, and we're going to look at the clock now in just a moment when it arrives, and there it is. It isn't out to the far side of the field. It's won back by Jamie Shannon. Jamie Shannon back into the middle, being challenged out the other side in the middle of the field, coming away with this Pam O'Reilly. Gets the ball back to the ground, now taking the shoulder up along the line at this side of the field, and again Pam already keeping the ball just inside the line at the moment, and again down in the middle of the field, going to the ground, the Charlotte Donlan down there, Chris Maguire just trying to get a bit of attention. 8.5 minutes gone, 2 points to 1. Who said about the first round?
Yeah, and again, I suppose there's no crowd here, but I'm sure the people that are on the sideline, I reckon Eireog feel hard done by, I think, a Sixmilebridge. We're looking at the free. I think once he released the ball, they were slightly late. I don't think there should be any question about Alex Morey has a pot from inside his own 65. Yes, yeah.
Just inside his own 65, 2 metres inside it, 2 metres from the sideline here. It's high. Is it going to tail in? That's a fantastic free from Alex Morey out here on the sideline, and slots the ball over the bar. The sides are level with 9 minutes gone here in the opening half, and your commentary is compliments of our good friends at Blossoms on the Go. So greetings to Shirley and everybody up there, as we said, up in Hermitage, the place for your flowers, Tommy. Up into the middle of the field again, they're going to be challenged up. An attack coming from Shane O'Morey down to this side of the field, on back on the defensive board. Brian Curry trying to release the ball down there. Great work back there as well by Ty Canella, getting the ball out to this side. It's Eireog on the attack, but Cayman Morley is down there snapping the ball on the defensive roll into the centre. It's a crowded centre, let me tell you. Running onto it also is Kevin Brennan. Kevin Brennan trying to get the ball in his hand. He does that. He's been fouled, and it's going to be a free in once again for Eireog. 55 out from the goal again for Danny Russell, and again another opportunity for Eireog.
Yeah, Eireog working the ball well, out of defence. They're playing with lots of confidence. They're trying to get it up, but one thing, a couple of their distributions have gone astray, and as we spoke about before the game, Cayman Morey is picking up those, so they're going to have to find a way around it. It looks like Shane O'Donnell has come out, and when he's come out, it looks like Shane O'Morey has picked him up, so that'll be an intriguing clash.
Danny Russell standing over this free once again from the same distance as the last time, ever so slightly left of the goal on this occasion. Once again looking, normally deadly from the place balls, but again the ball going to the left, and it goes wide. A let off for the Bridgemen. 2 points apiece it is here. 10.5 minutes gone, first half.
Yeah, Denny will be disappointed with that one. That was well within his range, and they just seem to be, I suppose, look, it's a bit of rustiness, and you and I have always spoke about how expert free takers we were. We'd score them all.
Absolutely. 13 metres out every time over the bar. Out to the far side is Evan McInerney trying to get that ball away, but he's robbed, and the ball comes back into the middle of the field to Tom Downs, making room, getting it across to Niall McMahon, now trying to get room, gets it back again to the far side of the field, and a great ball up along the line. Now Brian Carey facing his own goal. He's going to be first to the ball. Will he get it? He won't. The ball goes out over at the moment, going out over. He's been fouled to the referee, and it's going to be a free once again for the Bridgemen, and it's taken fast down into the middle of the field. Down it goes to Jamie Shannon. His time to look up. Sends the Sixmilebridge attack right dropping into the goal. Again the umpire looking, and comes out, waves the hands, and the ball goes to the left. and it goes wide. Almost 11 and a half gone in the first half. Your commentary compliments of Blossoms on the Go, Centre Point in Hermitage in Ennis, and it's exactly 2 pints apiece at the moment. The attack is in the middle of the field. It's Shane O'Donnell trying to win it back, but the ball goes to the far side. It's picked up by David McNamara, takes the shoulder, hits the ball into the wide open space, trying to find the man inside is Danny Russell. He's been challenged in there by Noel Purcell, but still in control of the ball. Now he has it in his hands. It falls out of it, heads for the corner flag, tries to pick the ball up. He does that. Again, a dangerous ball right across into the centre. It's going to fall down into Kevin Brennan. Kevin Brennan, ball falling out of his hand. Now trying to get it away is Evan McInerney. Evan McInerney trying to get the ball, but now it comes out to this side of the field to Michael Maloney, and Michael Maloney strikes and he sends the ball straight over the bar. It all came from the work of Danny Russell down in the left corner, getting the ball across into the danger zone, and Michael Maloney was the man that finished it, giving Eireog a 3 points to 2 lead with 12 and a half minutes, almost 12 and a half gone in the first half.
Yeah, and again, I mean, Danny Russell, was patient in the build-up. He crossed the ball across, and as you said, point, a good score for Eireog.
Aidan McGrath trying to come over with the ball, driving forward, challenged out there by Brian Curry. Again, he goes back to the ground, still trying to win it. Colin Malone kicking the ball ahead. He's used to that. Out to Alex Morey. Alex Morey over the shoulder, and he sends the ball in. That's a fantastic score from Alex Morey on the 45-metre line, levelling the sides again. Almost 13 minutes gone here. It's 3 points apiece in the park. Philip Walsh in a hurry, pucking the ball out to the far side between Shane O'Donnell and Shane Morey. Shane O'Donnell grabbing the ball in the air, taken out of his hand, out over the line, and it's going to be a line ball again. Shane O'Donnell just indicating the ball was taken off his stick by Shane Morey's hurley, but the linesman on the far side not having any of it. Shane Morey taking the line ball just on the 45-metre line, far side of the field, attacking the old scoreboard end here in Cusick Park, moving this ball, about to strike this one. It'll land right into the centre of the field. Once again, Colin Malone is the man going over it, but the man that gets the breaking ball is David McNamara for Eireog to the far side of the field. Once again, it's the Shane O'Donnell, Shane Morey saga, right back on the goal line, trying to get that ball away. There's nobody inside in front of the goal. Will this breaking ball come? But it's picked up by Noel Purcell for the bridge, whipping the ball back out into the centre, over to the far side to Jason Lucknan. Lucknan looking up. He's all the time in the world. Gets it out to Pam Mulready. Pam Mulready trying to get that ball up. He does, and sets up a Sixmilebridge attack to Jamie Shannon, heading for the corner. Right, Kieran Brennan on right there as well, getting the stick in, and a vital stick it was for the man with number 3 on his back, Kieran Russell, coming away with that ball. Now driving the ball out into the middle of the field. The Eireog men are on the attack. Now it's Conor O'Halloran striking the ball into the space to go. Shane O'Donnell comes out, almost goes to the ground. The grass on the back of his fingers as he got that ball into his hand. A brilliant ball through the centre, trying to get it away. Shane Golden is there to tidy up. Gets it back to Derek Fahey, and Derek Fahey looking up for this one. Switching play right across into the middle. That's a gamble on it, really just about paid off for Derek Fahey, getting it out to Brian Carey into the centre of the field. Ball going astray from Jason Lucknan, taking the hit. Shane O'Donnell back on the ground inside the tick of the action, and again touching the ball, so the referee possibly on the ground. Is going to be a free for the Bridgemen, dead centre of the field. Alex Morey arrives to place the ball.
Yeah, and again, I suppose, from the pitch is in excellent condition, but I suppose there was a little drizzle there or miss before the game, and it's just making it that bit slippy. The pitch is rock solid, so it'll be a slippy on top again, and just going to take lads a couple of minutes to acclimatise for it. But Alex Morey is right, just inside his own half, so he'd probably have the distance if he'd have the accuracy.
15 minutes almost gone here in the first half. There could be a tea break after this. Ball goes dead. Chris Maguire looking up. Alex Morey from out the field sends it in. The ball goes to the right and it goes wide. And Chris Maguire must be listening to me, because the water break is on now for it's about 60 seconds on the this side of the field, Tommy, and that'll give us a break. As we said, low scoring, but competitive, very competitive.
Yeah, and again, lots of, good approach work from both defences. Maybe the final pass going to stray early on there, the Bridge were striking the ball forward, and I think you mentioned Philly Walsh there, unopposed 3 or 4 times, and he set up a counter attack. So again, likewise above, Cayman Morey has dropped very deep, onto that D there in front of the Bridge 21-yard line, and I suppose Shane Morey has come out and Shane O'Donnell has come out, so that's going to take away the threat, and it's 2-on-1 then with Danny Russell. So I think their distribution is going to have to be a small bit better than on both sides. But look, it's early days yet.
It's early days. Now Shane O'Donnell has picked up quite a bit of ball just somewhere around the 45-metre line, maybe a little further out at times. From a Bridge point of view, they'll be delighted with that.
Yeah, put my manager's head the farther away the better, I suppose. But I suppose he has that ability to bring other players into the game. You know, we see that. So, you know, if they're all connected and tuned in, they should be playing off of Shane O'Donnell. But, you know, so far so good. Look, I think there's lots of effort, lots of endeavour. You know, there's lots of moving, but it's just the final pass is going astray. So, look at the water break. There'll just be a couple of quiet words of pointing out, and they'll be back at it again.
Jamie Shanahan was operating there at full forward for a while on Kieran Russell. That'll be something to watch.
It will, yeah. You know, I mean, you'd expect Jamie Shanahan, you know, to be the go-to player up there. But, you know, we spoke about Denny Russell or Kieran Russell is such an athlete like that. You know, he can cover the grounds. He's one of those backs like that. You know, if he's faster than the forward. When I was playing, if there was a faster guy, he mightn't be able to hold, but I used to hate those fast guys.
Surely the guys, I mean, there was nobody faster than you on the field.
Believe me, there was. I got quicker as I got older.
Quicker, is that right? Yeah. To get tugged in, is it? Ty Canellan, I'm impressed with him there in the corner. Tigerish approach as well in the number 4 jersey.
Yeah, and again, you know, he's able to cover the ground, and, you know, that's what you want your cornerback to do, because today's game, right, positions mean nothing. So, you know, sideline to sideline, you know, if your half forward line has gone out and you know, there's lots of space inside, you need to cover that space.
Philly Walsh with the puck out once again, out to this side, out to the man we are with Conor O'Halloran. Conor O'Halloran being challenged out there by Brian Curry, coming away with this ball as we resume. It's 3 points apiece here, and again looking down into the middle of the field. Cathal Malone trying to get that ball away, but again it's the man we mentioned, Ty Canellan, down there on their knees trying to get that ball away. Ball going nowhere. Alex Morey waiting for the breaking ball, but it finally comes out to Kevin Brennan. Back it goes to Kieran Russell, and Kieran Russell again striking that ball. 18 minutes gone in this first half as the ball drops into the wide open space. He's going to be picked up inside, but the ball just coming off the hand or the boot of David McNamara out over the line. Line ball for Sixmilebridge and for Shane Morey just inside his own 65 metre line. Your commentary compliments of Blossoms on the go. Centre point, of course, in Hermitage. Jerry O'Connor is down on the sideline once again with the hands on the hips. Back just behind him at the moment, Matt Shannon, of course, the manager of the side. Jared Donlan back there as well, placing the ball on the line. And inches away from the line it was on that occasion.
Don't start myself. It's the first match of the year. I don't want to.
Don't start into the middle of the field. That ball goes astray. Now it's going to be picked up very shortly by Niall McMahon. Odds on to win that one, but he's under pressure from Ella Mulready. He knows that, and now he uses Kieran Russell, boots the ball back, but Russell coming with the ball. Now he's been penalised for over carrying the ball, freeing for Sixmilebridge just somewhere around the 45 metre line by the time Alex Morey places this ball for a Sixmilebridge free. Kieran Russell coming out with that ball, trying to get past Ella Mulready, over carried, says the referee.
Yeah, and again, you know, I suppose if there's pressure put on, and Davey would have been quite happy, you know, with the work rate of the forwards that didn't give him a clear run, stood him up, forced him into overcarry, and this should be a tap over for Alex.
Alex Morey about to strike this ball, the ball going in, the umpire making his way out to the white flag. He raises that. Sixmilebridge going to the lead as Alex Morey sends that ball straight over the bar. 4 points to 3 with 19 and a half minutes gone, so you can add on a little bit onto that for the tea break they had there a few moments ago, the water break. Shane O'Donnell back into the centre it goes, picked up outside by Tom Downs, and Thomas Downs sending the ball across to this side of the field once again, about to be battered out. Where did it go? Out to Shane Morey, challenged out there in the middle of the field by David Jory, but gets enough room to release the ball out to Pam Mulready. Pam Mulready chopping that ball into the corners. The balls, Alan Mulready is out there, but out there before him is Kieran Russell, tidying up for the Eireog men. Uses the ball out to Ty Canellan. He has time, release the ball out to the middle of the field to Liam Curry. Liam Curry driving it forward, looking for options, half hooked as he sends the ball out to Shane O'Donnell around the middle of the field. Hit the ball, won out there by Evan McInerney, getting it for Sixmilebridge, but again it's won back by Niall McMahon to the far side of the field, out to Michael Maloney, into the space that goes. Denny Russell waiting for that breaking ball. Noel Purcell is there as well, but Cayman Morey is the man that tidies up, coming away with the ball, gets it out to Noel Purcell. He switches the play across to this side of the field. It's an ambitious pass, the ball goes in, but Jamie Shanahan doing exceptionally well to come out with that ball from way out the field, sends it in, but the ball bounces out over the inline and it goes wide. 4 points to 3. Sixmilebridge lead here in this opening half here in this first round of the Senior Hurling Championship of 2020. And looking down here, ball won back to the far side of the field, almost 21 minutes gone. A long ball from out the field from Conor O'Halloran, but Cayman Morey is there again, winning the ball back, changing the direction of the play, over to Alan Mulready, about to be challenged by Kieran Russell, gets the strike in, don't think he's going to make it. It is going to make it. The ball dropping practically on top of the net. Excellent strike from Alan Mulready, far side of the field. Sixmilebridge lead 5 points to 3 in this clash with Eireog in Cusack Park. The puck out once again, heading for Shane O'Donnell on the far side. It comes back to Noel Purcell. He wins the ball. Down it goes to Shane O'Morey. He's taking off, chased by Daniel Russell. Changes direction and from way out the field sends this ball in, but it's going to bounce out over the end line to the right and it goes wide. 5-3 it is on the scoreboard. Sixmilebridge leading, 21 and a half minutes gone.
Yeah, the Bridge slowly but surely finding their feet. They're getting a lot of bodies into the middle third, and the last two scores, Alan Mulready and got on the ball in the midfield, looked up and had a pot. Great score.
Again, the ball, defensive work at the far side of the field, trying to win that one, getting a ball back. He's spun back by Brian Carey out to Pam Mulready. Pam Mulready about to be challenged by Michael Maloney. He has enough room to tap the ball into the centre into Brian Carey. Brian Carey again linking up with Pam Mulready down to this side of the field, putting the ball back on the stick and striking it in, but it's into no man's land, and the piece of land that's in there belongs to Philly Walsh, inside on the goal, all on his own. Out to Kieran Russell. He's been busy in the number 3 jersey for Eireog. Out to Liam Curry. Liam Curry picking the ball up in full flight, passing his own 65-metre line into the space it goes, about to be picked up inside to this side by David Jorick. Will get a second opportunity. Cayman Morey on his shoulder, now turning back, looking and finding Shane O'Donnell. He'll change direction as well, tries to look around, placing this ball into the wide open space, but it's Pam O'Reilly for the Bridgeman. He's about to pick this ball up, about to be challenged as well, releases the ball back to Shane Golden. Shane Golden about to be surrounded, back the ball goes to Derek Fahey. Derek Fahey in the goal for Sixmilebridge, and again that long relieving clearance, an attacking clearance down to Jamie Shannon, pops out of his hand, and again Kieran Russell is there to tidy up for the Eireog men. Back to Philly Walsh, again looking around to the far side of the field, trying to get that ball back out to Conor O'Halloran. He's trying to come over that ball on the far side of the field, trying to pick it up, coming up along the line. That's Niall McMahon. Niall McMahon with the ball in his hand out over the line, and it's going to be a line ball for the Eireog men.
Yeah, I think he just got to stick across him. The linesman on the far side pointed out that it was, the ball went off a Sixmilebridge stick, so it's a line ball for Eireog. Just as you said, you've mentioned him a lot in commentary. Kieran Russell's having a major influence on the game back there. He's using his head, he's using his experience, and he's just not, prepared to strike the ball away. He's always looking up. He always has an outlet to go through the half-back line with. So, good play from Kieran Russell. 23 and a half minutes gone. It's
5 points to 3 in this opening round game in the Senior Hurling Championship, and it's Sixmilebridge leading Eireog 5-3. Again, Daniel Russell with the attack. Right in front of the goal is David Jory, but the ball being escorted out over the end line. The ball goes to the right and it goes wide. Referee Chris Maguire is just moving back. He's just having a word, or maybe it's the other way around, I would imagine, with Shane O'Donnell. Shane just having a word with the referee Chris Maguire, going back. All's well that ends well, and Derek Fahey getting ready. Derek McGrath is in another world. Derek Fahey with the puck out down to this side of the field. Once again up they go for. That's a brilliant catch by Cathal Malone, trying to get inside. He gets inside to the far side. Will he get room to strike? It goes to the ground. He's been fouled, and it's going to be a free in. Tommy, you were looking at something else that was happening down there at the moment. Great catch by Cathal Malone, a run as well, and pulled down inside the 20-metre line. Free in for Sixmilebridge and for Alex Morey, and by any standards it'll be double scores after this.
Yeah, I just thought on the initial puck out that came down that there was a slight nudge, maybe a Tommy Doyle, Seamus Darby effort if people are looking at it at home, but he got away with it. He took him on, and the Eireog defence were forced to bring him down, so should be a tap over for Alex.
People are asking now, who in the name of God is Seamus Darby? When was he playing for the Bridge?
The last century.
Last century. Alex Morey it is, looking for the ball here on the 20-metre line, and activity down on the sideline as well. But once again, going in to get the ball right here and to place it on the 20-metre line is going to be Alex Morey. As we said, 5 points to 3 it is here, and it's 25 minutes gone here. About to place it again, the referee and Charlotte Dunn and the linesman just having words. Alex Morey taking his time and taking full attention on placing this ball just on the edge of the semicircle off the 20-metre line, sends it in and sends it straight over the bar. The sides as double scores here in Cusack Park, 6 points to 3, Sixmilebridge lead.
Yeah, I suppose Alex Morey has got the majority of the scores. I think he's got 5 of the 6, so the Bridge will be happy with that. But it's just, I think the Bridge need to get probably Jamie Shanahan and Shane Golden and that into the game a bit more, if they are to, to get a dominance in the game.
Shane O'Donnell winning the ball from the puck out once again, winning quite a bit of ball around the 65-metre line, but again it's been won back to this side by Jason Lucknain, getting it out to this side, out to Noel Purcell. Noel Purcell trying to drive forward down here to the middle of the field, looking for support, gets it from Ella Mulready, about to be challenged out there in the middle of the field as well by Darren O'Brien, but gets away from that, out to Pam Mulready on the far side of the field. Arriving out there is Kevin Brennan, but Pam Mulready from out the field, it's high, it's dropping in, and the ball going in and going straight over the bar. Once again, it's Sixmilebridge extending the lead. It's 7 points to 3 here, and the clock will tell us 26.5 minutes gone in this first half.
I think the Bridge build-up was patient. They moved the ball across the field. Mulready got onto the ball. He had the confidence, he had a good strike and a good score for the Bridge.
Once again, Derek Fahey on the ball at the moment, trying to place the ball in front of Ella Mulready. That's the man he finds. Back into the centre it goes, and out to Evan McInerney. Evan McInerney way out the field, but once again it drops straight into the hands of Philly Walsh, who in turn sends it out to Kieran Russell on the far side of the field. Gets the ball, about to be challenged by Alex Morey. Puts the ball on his stick and takes off in that familiar run right up the centre of the field, looking for support. Gets it out there to the middle of the field. One out there outside the middle of the field by David George, trying to get through to the centre. That's David McNamara. Goes to the ground. It's going to be a free in for Eireog, dead straight in front of the goal, about 63 metres out, and it's going to be Denny Russell that's not going to stand over this one. We'll see. Maybe it is Danny Russell about to stand over this one, dead straight in front of the goal, 63 metres out, wiping the ball in the hands in the mist that's falling here in Cusack Park at the moment. The scoreboard 7-3 it is right now. Will Danny Russell change that from an Eireog point of view as he's standing over this one, and the breeze seems to be blowing into his face here against the slight breeze here in the park at the moment, and again the ball landing right over the black spot. The radar is in for Danny Russell. 7 points to 4. Sixmilebridge lead in Eireog here by 3 points, with the clock telling us almost 28 minutes gone in the first half.
Yeah, Danny Russell, while he's missed some, he's probably been their main go-to man. I think Michael Maloney is the only other scorer for Eireog, so they'll be looking to get more of their forwards into scoring positions to have a putt.
Kevin Brennan lining up with Tomas Downs, sending the ball into the wide open space again, running out for it, trying to get control of it, but the ball going back to the ground. One out now by Shane O'Donnell, taking on Barry Fitzpatrick. Shane O'Donnell is off on the run, trying to get to the far side centre. The ball coming back out, taken on the line, but he was fouled on the way in, and no advantage accruing there. But a Shane O'Donnell run, we haven't seen it all day yet, but just getting in, and Derek Fahey taking the ball off the line, but in the run in was fouled. It's going to be a free for Eireog and for Denny Russell once again.
Yeah, I just wonder, did he take the right option there? He hit it straight at Derek Fahey. He had a man over, but he backed himself looking, and the keeper made a good save, but probably knowing that he was going to get a free back here. So Denny Russell, while it's not an easy one, and it's within his range, he should get it.
Well within his range, on the edge of the semicircle off the 20-metre line. At the moment it's 7 points to 4 as we're coming up very shortly, very close to the half time here. Danny Russell, can he cut the deficit? He certainly does. 7 points to 5 it is here. Sixmilebridge leading by 2 points as we head into the official closing 60 seconds of this first half. There will be additional time of 3 or 4 minutes, I would imagine. Back the ball goes to the far side once again. Eireog on the attack, sending the ball up, but it's broken up by Evan McInerney, trying to win the ball back. Good work, Niall McMahon back there trying to get it as well on the far side of the field, and again outside in the middle of the field, players, let's just say, getting to know each other. Chris Maguire is coming to his attention back on the far side of the field at the moment. Still 2 players, let's just say social distancing wouldn't apply in the middle of the field at the moment, and Kevin Brennan and Pam Mulready at the moment in the middle of the field, and it's going to be a line ball down here to our right hand side, and Chris Maguire now going back to the middle of the field. The linesman is on the far side of the field as well, just taking note of that.
Yeah, and I think probably there was coming together of players. It looked like Pam Mulready was trying to make that run forward. I suppose Kevin Brennan probably tried to restrict him, and it got into a grapple on the ground. There was nothing in it, but I'm sure the linesman will tell the umpire or the referee, Chris Maguire, what he saw, and probably 2 yellow cards.
You can put your house on it, I would imagine. Down here to the right hand side is Alex Morey getting ready to take the line ball. We're just going into 30.5 minutes gone here in this game. The referee, Kevin Brennan, in fairness to him, he's down, still down, the helmet off at the moment. Pam O'Reilly back with his hands on his hips, back here to the 65 metre line. Now they'll be coming together, and referee Chris Maguire having a word with both players out in the middle of the field, and just probably issuing a warning as we're heading into additional time here. We didn't see the board down below us at the moment, but again the referee just looking at the book, looking in. It's going to be an attack for Sixmilebridge. They lead 7 points to 5 here against Eireog. It's a yellow card for both players on the far side of the field. Everybody back in their field. Kevin Brennan with his helmet back on as well as the play resumes. Right down here on the 20 metre line, to just outside the 20 metre line, is going to be Alex Morey with this line ball right into the wide open space, right, looking for Pam O'Reilly. He gets that ball, but it skids off the hurley out to the far side of the field. Now it's going to be picked up by Michael Maloney. Michael Maloney up along the line to the far side. Daniel Russell coming out. Noel Purcell on his shoulder, looking around into the space it goes, trying to find David McNamara. He has a bit of work to do, but he has it done. He gets the ball back into his hand and comes across to this side of the field. Great work by Evan McInerney, blocking it down. Ball going astray. Now it's back to Jason Lucknan. Jason Lucknan being challenged. Tremendous work down there in the middle of the field by Tom Downs, trying to get the ball into the wide open space. Shane O'Donnell in full flight. Back defending is Alan Mulready, trying to get that ball away, but now it's back into the hands again of Darren O'Brien into the wide open space. Now the ball going aside to Tom Downs. Will he get the opportunity? The ball rolls away from him, and Derek Fahey comes out with the ball, bouncing off the stick out to the 45 metre line. He's going for the long ball from way out the field. That's a superb score. Derek Fahey with the fist up in the air, came out, won the ball, came out outside the 45 metre line and slotted the ball over the bar on the other end of the field. What a finish to the first half we've had here in Cusack Park. Superb score by Derek Fahey, as we said, fisted up. Great finish to the first half that was, but a very competitive game.
Yeah, and again, I think maybe had that same opportunity presented itself there, maybe 3 and 4 games into the season, it would have been different. I think just lost a bit of composure, but they say there was a big turnaround there. There was a goal chance for Eireog at one end. Derek Fahey stepped up and had the pot from and put it over the bar. So the Bridge will be quite happy. I think they made a slow start. Eireog made the running. Danny Russell has been probably 50% of his frees that he has scored. So and again they still hold the threat up there with Shane O'Donnell. But I think the Bridge just in the last 10 minutes have taken command and using all their experience.
Absolutely, but we are certainly looking forward to the second half. We'll be taking up the second half just after this break.
I would just like to wish all the lads the best of luck with the championships this year, and hope they get on brilliant. Best of luck. We are open Monday to Saturday, 9:30 to 5:30, and just to let you know, here in Hermitage in Ennis, call us, check out our Facebook page for any contact.
What is now definitely last night was many would consider a strong opening game, but it wasn't really, I suppose. I know Kilmarnock were very easy winners, but definitely we're in a championship game now, Patrick Kelly.
Yeah, definitely the stakes are obviously a lot higher here. The physicality levels have been up from last night, and it's going to be a real battle here in the second half. The rain is starting to come down now, and Eireog have a slight breeze at their back, so like 3 points behind, like they would have been happy. They would have been happy with the start they made, and I suppose the water break there after 15 minutes, it probably Fitzy and Tim Crowe would be happy that they got the players in for the few minutes, and the bridge kind of took over after that. But look, Eireog are still very much in this game, and it's a real championship affair now. We have in our hands here for the second half.
Indeed, Patrick. I suppose if Eireog were probably to be upset about anything, was they had 3 wides or 4 wides in the first 10 minutes, 2 frees that went wide from Johnny Russell. Normally he would be a player that would be hitting a 90% ratio. Could they be important into the game?
Yeah, I suppose we'll have to wait and see. Danny's normally lethal at the frees, like, and I suppose by his standards they were relatively easy. But the one thing I noticed during the game was like both full forward lines were kind of withdrawn, and the goalies got on maybe 5 or 6 balls each. And as it turned out, the very last play there, Fahy got the ball, and I was actually sitting near enough to someone. I said, "Watch this, he's going to go for a score," and he took off on a solo run. Fahy being Fahy, and took a puff from his own 45, and the breeze took it over. Like, so that just shows like that the way both teams are set up, they're withdrawing the men out the field.
Are the conditions today having any impact in the game? Like the ball is going to definitely get greasy now because we've had rain this morning and it's got worse now. It looks like we're going to have rain for the second half. Which team do you think will it affect? Any of the 2 teams in particular, or will it just the same for both?
No, I'd say it'll be the same for both. The 2 of them are fit and physical. There's a lot of big hits going in. I'd say it'll have no bearing really. It's not that heavy like in the field. The underground conditions are fairly good, and there's a good cut of grass in it. So no, I'd say it'd be the same for both teams, and it won't have much of a bearing on the overall result.
Alex Murray's been to the fore for Sixmilebridge from frees and from play, as well as Alan Mulready. I suppose Eireog, from their point of view, I suppose we've been talking all the time. I suppose a lot of teams find it difficult to take on Sixmilebridge sometimes because of the record over the last 20 or 30 years that they're expecting to be in championship. But Eireog have definitely matched them in most factors today, bar a few things.
Yeah, Maloney there midfield. He's we actually speculated that Golden would go centre forward, but Maloney picked Shane Golden up there midfield. He's doing okay. Shane O'Donnell has got on a few balls. He's made 1 or 2 catches, but they're like with Cam and they're the sweeper. They've the double effect on him in a way. But O'Donnell got through there at one stage, and Derek Fahy made a great save. Shane did everything right. He hit the ball low, but he kind of maybe, I suppose, if he's the time back again, he would have hit it either side of him. But no, that's just basically it from that point of view.
I suppose with Shane O'Donnell, he probably knew he had the free got, and there was going to be called back for the free if the ball hadn't gone into the goal. So he probably felt he had a free shot anyway. He was going to score, but he could have popped it out to the man running beside him.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it was Thomas Downs who was inside him, but I suppose these top quality forwards, they probably want the glory themselves, and he was probably right to take the shot on. But Barry Fitz probably went to take him down by the waist and failed to do so. But no, that was only probably the only real goal chance probably that was in the game.
I suppose looking towards the second half now, it's going to be what do Eireog have to do to probably get back in contention? As we said before, it doesn't really, the results in ways doesn't matter. The performance will count for Eireog. What would if you were Matty Shannon and Jerry O'Connor now, what would you see as a weakness in Sixmilebridge that might give them a chance to get on top of the bridge at some stage?
I suppose they've come out with a few balls there from the backs. Their cornerbacks and wing backs have come out with a few balls, and even Russell coming out from the middle. But they have to bypass the sweeper. They have to bypass Cameron Murray. He's swept up a lot of ball. They have to hit it, get it in over him, or get it down the sidelines. But as I said, they'll have a slight breeze now. So maybe if they start shooting from maybe out around the middle, take their scores from long range. You're taking out their Cayman and the main threat there. Like, so take the scores from long range and just get their shooters on the game. Maybe bring Shane O'Donnell out the field a bit more. Withdraw him out away from the sweeper.
I suppose the water break, what do you make of the water break? Now, you've probably felt it might have suited Sixmilebridge to get that breather for 2 minutes. Is it a big factor in the game as the championship will get stronger?
I don't think so. I say both teams, every team has played 3 or 4 challenge games. They're used to it by now. I know Fitzy and Tim Crowe and them, they'll be happy with the water break. But it's kind of suited him, trying to broke momentum for Eireog. But I don't think he'll have a big bearing. And look, the players need to get water on board. It's the only way they can.
I suppose with the 2 teams are getting ready to go on the field again. Call it now. We're shorter half-time breaks now because the teams are basically not going into dressing rooms. Call it now. How will the matches go, do you think, this second half? Call it.
You're putting me on the spot here, but I'd probably side with the bridge by 1 or 2 points, I'd say.
Okay. Thank you very much. We hand you back to upstairs to Sil and Tommy. Thank you.
Second half about to resume here. Chris Maguire with the ball in his hand, waiting for the throw in here. Players anxious to get going. The second half is up and running here. Again, the clock is back in action. Tommy to our right hand side. Booted out. It's 8 points to 5. Sixmilebridge leading here by 3. Out to the far side of the field. They're on the attack. It's Cathal Malone with the ball in his hand. Wide into the space he goes, trying to get that ball away over to the far side of the field. Now coming back. Over. Ball goes back to the ground. Win back by Evan McGrath. He put him in under pressure, but he's still Cathal Malone with the ball on the far side of the field, whipping the ball out to the middle of the field, out to Jason McNair, into the centre goes, out to Shane Golden. Shane Golden going to ground, free in for Sixmilebridge. Seconds gone on the clock here, free in for Sixmilebridge, and Chris Maguire just going to have a word at the moment with Michael Maloney, maybe ticking on the book, maybe it's Liam Corey. It is Liam Corey picking up a yellow card back here. Shane Golden just receiving treatment, and Alex Boy retrieving the ball here to take this free, placing that ball just inside the 65 metre line. Your commentary's compliments of Blossoms on the go, centre point in Hermitage, as Shane Golden still receiving treatment down there. Words of wisdom. So strange to see players on the sideline to take it back for this, Tommy, but they're just getting on with the game right now.
Yeah, and again, I suppose this is what they look for, and again, I suppose the last 10 minutes the bodies will be telling them that we're getting tired, but look, that's what a game will bring them on. There's no way to find out how you are until you play the game, and both teams will definitely know where to stand.
And it's Alex Boy striking this one from out the field, sending the ball straight over the bar, and once again Sixmilebridge stretching the lead here. They lead Eireog 9 points to 5, 2 minutes into the second half. Philly Walsh with the puck out, right down the centre it goes. Again a gathering of players, ball goes to the ground, one back there on the far side of the field, and Old Purcell trying to get the ball away, but it's picked up out there to the far side by David McNamara, trying to drive through. He does, off the right hand side, sending this one in, the ball going to the right and going wide, but again the referee calling the playback. It's going to be a free for the Eireog men just outside the 45 metre line, and Danny Russell will be back on duty very, very shortly. He has arrived at the spot, now waiting for the ball, Tommy.
Yeah, I think Chris Maguire had given him the advantage. He had broken through the tackle. He had deemed him to be, held up in the tackle. He still allowed him to have the shot. So, Danny Russell has a free shot now. So, probably should tap it over, to counteract Alex's one there at the start.
Yes, Spring is just outside the 45 metre line now, going back, just having a look at the post, moving up to the ball at the moment. And again, that motionless, familiar stance of Daniel Russell striking this one. David Reedy, of course, a huge loss on the Eireog side, while Paddy Fitzpatrick on the Sixmilebridge equally a loss as the ball is slotted over the bar. We're back to the 3-point lead at half time. It's now 9 points to 6, with both sides exchanging points in this opening period of this second half. It's Derek Fahey with the puck out right into the middle of the field once again to go for it. Ball dropping down into the centre, picked up out there in the middle of the field by Niall McMahon. Gets room to strike it into the space of goal, and now it goes into the hands of Darren O'Brien. He's trying to win the ball back. He does that, looks around, doesn't see anybody, decides to go direct. That's a superb score from Darren O'Brien. He looked across the field to see was there anybody making the run, and there weren't. His back was to the goal. He was on the 45 metre line, and once again he was sent the ball straight in and straight over the bar. And again you can see back here on the sideline, again the referee Chris Maguire going back, trying to get order back into the sides, and the linesmen on both sides and possibly the umpires will be called to the attention of referee Chris Maguire going back there. Again looking out into the middle of the field, Charlotte Donlan there now being spoken to by referee Chris Maguire there about an incident that happened, Tommy, while we were looking at Darren O'Brien's superb score at one end. There was an incident at the other side of the field.
Yeah, and again, I didn't see it now. Obviously there was some altercation between two players. I think it's number 5 for Eireog is down. Is it Niall McMahon is down? I'm thinking maybe Alan Mulready could be called forward, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. They're the two players he's possibly going to speak to. No doubt about that. Looking down on the sideline, Alan Mulready is there. Again, he's moving up. He's going up to his umpires.
Yep.
Yeah, he's going to his umpires, back up at the left-hand side, the far end of the field, the town end of the field. He's back up there at the moment. And again, Charlotte Donlan, again, down here on the sideline, looking on with the flag in his hand. The referee, Chris Maguire, has gone to the other end of the field. It's 9 points to 6. There's 4.5 minutes gone here in the second half. And the referee, Chris Maguire, consulting everybody possible about the incident that happened completely behind the run of play. So he's now making his way out towards the middle of the field, but he's most definitely going to have a word.
He's gone to the book, yeah. And I don't think it'll probably be a sending off. I think there was probably 2 of them in it, and maybe if one got caught and the other didn't, Yeah, but I think, it shouldn't overshadow. That was a superb score from Darren O'Brien. He had a lot to do. I think Barry Fitz had him held up, turned over his shoulder and, had a great pot, a great score for Eireog. So,
Chris Maguire still speaking to Alan Mulready. Has the book put back in, and let's see what happens. Now the book is coming back out, and it's a straight red card for Alan Mulready for the incident there off the ball on that occasion. So Sixmilebridge down to 14 players with a straight red, and with just 5 minutes gone in the second half.
I just see some of the Eireog players gesturing like that there was the end of the hurley was given back. So look at Back to Darren O'Brien, superb score, cutting the deficit here to 2 points in the par. Caught him alone on the ball at the moment, being challenged out there by David McNamara, trying to get the ball away, but again Liam Curry whipping the ball back into the centre to Tom Downs to midfield partner Michael Maloney. He's been robbed, and again it's going to be a free right down here on the far side of the field, and again will Daniel Russell make the trek out to take this one. Derek Fahim running out from the goal at the moment. Again the referee Chris Maguire is still out there in the middle of the field and pointing to the spot. Yes, Daniel Russell has arrived, waiting for the ball. That'll come from the stick of Kevin Brennan on this side of the field, and again this could possibly, it's a very difficult free by anybody's standards. It's in the dead centre of the field, about, from what we can see, maybe 5 or 6 metres in, with his back to the almost the empty stand on the far side of the field. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 supporters on the far side of the field. Now I counted him, the one is a steward at 7, but it's Daniel Russell. It's very bad when you can pick out the supporters, and we've a row of counting 6 supporters on the far side of the field. Daniel Russell with this ball from way out the field, distance no problem, ball dropping in, the umpire is coming out. That's a superb score for Daniel Russell and for Eireog as we head into just 6.5 minutes gone in the second half. There's 1 point between the sides, and there's 1 extra player from Eireog, with Alan Mulready receiving the red card just a few moments ago. The puck out, the ball goes to the far side, Liam Curry going up for, but Jamie Shannon winning the ball back out to Evan McInerney. Evan McInerney, a long dangerous ball going to drop in, and the referee is calling the play back. It's going to be a free in for the Bridgemen on the far side of the field, just outside the 45 metre line. Yeah, just a little small bit of niggle coming in now, I suppose. Probably the Bridge field a small bit aggrieved with that sending off, so lots of shouting and roaring at the referee, but I think Chris Maguire is going to keep his head and let the game flow, but also keep charge of it.
Absolutely will. Out to the far side, Alex Morey waiting to take this free, just again somewhere around the 55 mark in the middle of the field, again with his back to the terracing stand, striking into the town goal here. 9-8 on the scoreboard, 7.5 minutes gone in the second half. 23 very interesting minutes left in this game as Alex Morey from out the field, it's high, it's dropping in, the umpire is coming out and he's going for the white flag, and again a great strike from the stick of Alex Morey, sending it over the bar, and the Bridge go back into a 2-point lead. Puck out coming too fast, says the referee Chris Maguire. Going back to Philly Walsh, 10-8 it is for the place in the winners group in the draw for the next round of the Senior Hurling Championship. Kieran Russell is on the ball, gets it back into the centre, linking up inside with Conor O'Halloran. Great work out there, robbed in the middle of the field by Jamie Shannon, goes to the ground, and again it's going to be a free for the Bridgemen inside their own 65 metre line. Good work on the far side of the field. Coming away there is going to be Alex Morey, now inside his own half of the field, and again just trying that bit of niggle coming back into the game at the moment. But Alex Morey is there, Jarlath Donlan just telling him to move back ever so slightly behind the line. That's what's happening there. Now he's just gone back behind the 65 metre line as Chris Maguire making his way back towards the Eireog goal, back to the far side. Will he have the distance and the accuracy? Distance won't be a problem, judging by that strike. It's going to drop in right to the edge of the square, but again Kieran Russell goes up like a Trojan worker, coming over that ball, being fouled, and as you said, Tommy, he mightn't have played that much hurling over the last few years, but my goodness me, absolutely superb inside in the number 3 jersey for the Eireog men. It's going to be a free out. Philly Walsh is going to take this one back out to this side of the field, switching play over to the far side. Players right under this one, 1 in the middle of the field, ball going back to the ground from the stick of Michael Maloney, trying to get the ball out. Alex Morey into the centre, Brian Corey coming on to, but again jumping in there was Niall McMahon, trying to get the ball away, comes out to the middle of the field. Colin Malone trying to get control of it out there ahead of Aidan McGregor, gets the ball back into his hand, changes direction, now swings the ball into the wide open space. Jamie Shanahan coming out, no stick out there outside in the hands of Conor O'Halloran. He's trying to get the ball away, trying to move the ball out. The man that's winning the ball around the cluster of players is the man with with no stick. On the ground at the moment is coming away with the ball on the far side is Jason Lucknan. He's been fouled dead straight in front of the goal. It's going to be a free in for Sixmilebridge once again, and a golden opportunities to stretch their lead. But at the moment is 2 points on the board. 10-8 it is. Alex Moore is standing over this free outside the 20-metre line.
Just going back to Kieran Russell there, we had a guy in Fecal once, he was always quick with the one-liners. He always said that form was temporary, class is forever.
Absolutely he is, but he's just having one of those games. Let's see, Alex Morey also very, very sharp, razor sharp from frees all day long. About to strike this one, he does that and slots it straight over the black spot on the scoreboard. 11 points to 8 it is, 10 minutes gone in the second half. What a goal would do for this game, and let's see what happens. Philly Walsh coming over it, taking the short puck out to Kieran Russell on the far side of the field, again putting the ball on the stick on the 45-metre line into the space that goes, trying to find Denny Russell on the far side. Noel Purcell has other ideas, but Denny Russell eventually finding this one, trying to get room. Now he has room. Has he got direction? Ball comes in off the post and slotted over the bar. Denny Russell, composure, winning that ball under pressure on the far side of the field. It's 11 points to 9. Sixmilebridge leading by 2 with 11 minutes gone. Ball won by Alex Boy in the middle of the field, getting out into the middle. Jason looked in, trying to move it across, but again that ball has got to be won back. A collision of players on the far side of the field, and it's going to be a free. Great work back there on the far side. Great run in there to the centre at the moment by Niall McMahon. It's going to be a free. Philly Walsh coming out to take it for the Eireog men just outside, about 45 out from his own goal. Getting ready to strike this one. Will it land in around the house? Players making the run, opening up the centre of the Sixmilebridge defence at the moment. So Philly Walsh will surely land this one in around the square. The ball is high, it's dropping right into the 13-metre line. Up they go for it. Ball breaks out of the ground on the far side, picked up by Darren O'Brien trying to get that ball away. Gets a dangerous ball in, but just going over the heads inside on the far side of the field of David McNamara, and it comes out to Brian Carey. Brian Carey turning into trouble, running into a cul-de-sac right down here outside the 20-metre line. Now he has another opportunity to get out of that one. Again getting the ball out to Brian Curry, whipping the ball away, placing the ball in his stick, being chased by Shane O'Donnell into the space that goes. Up they go for it, ball coming to the ground, but it's won back by Alex Morey. Good work in the middle of the field there by Niall McMahon, but came in well. Alex Morey is the man that wins it, but standing all on his own is Kieran Russell at the far side of the field, winning that ball back, trying to get the ball away. Now it comes down, looking for Denny Russell, but is won back by Noel Purcell. Noel Purcell into the space that goes. Shane Golden gets the ball from the bounce, being chased out there by Michael Maloney, scoops the ball into the centre. Again challenging out there is Aidan McGrath and Cathal Malone. Ball going out of the line, and it's going to be a line ball for Eireog on the far side of the field. And again not impressed is Cathal Malone on that occasion, and now could easily certainly pick up a warning, if not a yellow card from the referee Chris Maguire.
Yeah, because and it's usually not like Cathal Malone. He turned and struck the ball, and it missed the Eireog player. But it's just maybe it's just a hint of frustration that's creeping into the Bridge play. They're down a player, they're making no headway, up front again, and take Alex Morey's frees out of it. They're just struggling to get players in time and space, and I think Matthew Shannon and his management team will be quite happy where Eireog at the moment. They have probably more of a threat up front. Darren O'Brien, Danny Russell, and Shane O'Donnell has been quite enough in the second half. So looking good for Eireog at this stage, but they still trail.
They still trail 11 points to 9. Philly Walsh from a line ball is now turned into a free against the referee's decision as the ball drops right into the edge of the square. But again inside is Noel Purcell coming out with that ball on the far side of the field and driving the ball up the field on the attack. Cathal Malone running onto this one. Will he keep it in play? He does. Gets the ball into his hand. About to be challenged by Ty Cannell and chased out to the far side of the field. Will he get room to strike it just about into the wide open space? But Kieran Russell once again is all on his own, winning this ball to the far side of the field. Down it goes into the centre, comes into David Jorick trying to control the ball, goes behind. Shane O'Donnell arrived. Shane O'Morey right inside alongside him, but gets enough room to strike it into the centre. It's an ambitious ball, but it could be won back by Tom Downs, trying to get that ball away, trying to kick the ball out of the cluster of players. Barry Fitzpatrick is there trying to get the ball, goes to the ground, pushing the back, free out for Sixmilebridge on their own 65-metre line. And Alex Morey, maybe his brother Cayman, is the man that's going to take this one. Pam O'Reilly is the closest man to the ball, ball, but it's going to be a free. Cayman Morris to take it. 14 and a half minutes gone here in this second half. It's 11 points to 9. Sixmilebridge leading Eireog, which are commentary compliments of Blossoms on the go in the centre point in Hermitage. Cayman Morris changing his mind there, but the fast run that was made on the far side of the field, steadying himself. Again, this ball will go very, very close to Philly Walsh, if not over his head, right inside in the Eireog goal. Let's see what happens. Ball dropping in very close. It goes in, and the ball going in, and once again going straight over the bar from the stick of Cayman Morey, just dropping inside the crossbar. At 12 points to 9 it is down here to our left hand side, and again the referee is going to call. He's going to call for the break and play. 15 minutes gone. 12-9. Competitive, Tommy. A goal would be a ferocious spark in this game at the moment, and but again entertaining, and that loss of Alan Mulready, how much of a part is it going to play in the next 15 minutes?
Yeah, I was just saying, going into the last 15 minutes when guys, will probably, begin to tire, and, I think Eireog are probably, how they use the ball, how they use the extra man, but, one thing the Bridge won't do is they won't panic. They've been in these positions before, they have the experience, they have the men, but I think, they need players to stand up. I think they need Jamie Shanahan to stand up. They need Shane Golden to stand up now, right, and get into the game. They're, up front, they just seem to be struggling to get the, that final ball into the scoring zone. And when they do, we spoke about Kieran Russell, before there. So, they're going to have to really work hard at this.
Eireog will still look at that scoreboard and they'll say to themselves, we find ourselves in a good position, we've allotted the ball, but we're still 3 behind. There were 3 behind at half time. Now we're halfway through the second half, and they'll still look at it and say, we're still 3 behind.
Yeah, again, there's no point in having the possession and, having the aid of that slight breeze if you don't, use it and put it on the scoreboard. I think, they need to get maybe a goal. Will the Bridge allow them to get a run of 3 or 4 or 5 points? I don't think they will. They'll need maybe a moment of magic, maybe from Shane O'Donnell to slip inside the defence or take him on and get a goal chance. But they have the players. It's a matter of moving the ball forward, taking Cayman Morey out of it, because the Bridge are still holding him as the free player, even though they're a player down. So that means the rest of the players are going to have to really up their work rate by 5%, to offset the loss of Mulready. So 15 minutes. Again, sometimes with these water breaks, you've noticed throughout challenge games and stuff, sometimes it breaks momentum. You lose momentum, and on another thing, if things aren't going with a couple of words or a couple of pointers or a couple of stats out there can change the game. So all to play for, as you said, Eireog, despite playing well, are still 3 points down.
Absolutely, both sides going back once again into the positions. We're going to see there could be possibility of changes. We'll keep an eye on those, and to get limbering up is going to be maybe on the sideline here. We'll keep an eye on Mark O'Donnell, get him ready for the action. Chris Maguire out in the middle of the field. The laces have to be tied before the play resumes. It's going to be a change. It's going to be Conor Deasy that's coming on, and it's going to be Brian Curry coming off the Sixmilebridge side. So Mark O'Donnell on, Conor Deasy on, Brian Curry is off.
Is coming off, it looks like, for Mark O'Donnell. Mark is the older brother of Shane, so there'll be a twin O'Donnell attack up there.
Absolutely, there's no doubt about it. One of them is bad enough, but 2 of them together could create havoc. Down it is. It's David Jorick that's coming off the Eireog side here, and Chris Maguire about to resume play. Back to the far side, it's going to be Philly Balls to get play as we head in on the clock. It says 12 minutes left in this game. You can make that 14-15 as well, as ball on the attack out to the far side. Daniel Russell trying to get the ball in his hand, but it's whipped out of his hand there by Cayman Morey, and again the referee has deemed it's a foul, and it's going to be a free in for the man that's on his knees at the moment, dead straight in front of the goal on the edge of the semicircle, and that's Danny Russell at the moment. Cayman Morey coming in protesting, took the ball, snapped the ball out of his stick, but it is a free, says Chris Maguire. 3 between them at the moment as we head in, as I said, to the closing 12 or 13 minutes of this game. This will surely bring it back to a 2-point lead for Sixmilebridge. Danny Russell about to strike this one. It's high, he sends it straight over the bar. Once again, it's 10 points to 12, 12 points to 10. Sixmilebridge lead here by 2 points. It's going to be interesting, Tommy.
Yeah, I think they need to push on now. I think Eireog, get it down to another point and, really put the game into the melting pot there for the last 10 or 15 minutes.
Dropping out to the far side of the field again, the ball beginning to break on the far side of the field. Aidan McGrath is out here trying to get control of it, but it's won back by Niall McMahon. Back to Kieran Russell. He's going to use Liam Curry at centre half back. Liam Curry coming out with this ball, putting it on the stick and sidestepping the attacks and releasing the ball into the centre. It goes up. They go for that breaking ball. Is going to come out to this side of the field. It's going to be won back very close to the line, and the referee has deemed there's a push on the back right down there at the moment. Conor O'Halloran, he was so close to the line, he stood right on the line at the moment, and as I said to you, he knew he was going to take the tackle, and it's going to be a free in for Eireog right down on the sideline at the moment, trying to get control of it back on the sideline. It's going to be Chris Maguire walking over. Jarlath Donlan is down there as the linesman as well, and Tommy, again the referee is going to have words.
Yeah, again, I mean, it was a push in the back, it was a free, but I think an incident that happened after, where the bridge manager David Fitzgerald ended up on the ground. Now, I didn't exactly see what happened. I think he may have been pushed, obviously, by an opposing player. How Chris Maguire and Jarlath deal with it, they've just, I think.
It's going to be a free for Daniel Russell right down here in front of us. David Fitzgerald is the Sixmilebridge coach. Tim Crowe is the manager. It's going to be Daniel Russell right on the sideline at the moment, and no more about. I've seen him stand over a free like this many years ago in Clarecastle at a game, and there were so many people screaming into his ear on that occasion, and he just slotted the ball straight over the black spot. And this is like a carbon copy of that. It's high, and the black spot won't apply on this occasion. As the ball goes in, it goes to the left of the goal, and it goes wide. 12 points for Sixmilebridge, 10 for Eireog, and just about 10 minutes plus left in this game in Cusack Park.
Yeah, it would have been interesting if they, if they get that down. I think Eireog need to take all their chances, because the bridge will get chances, and they usually take them. So let off for the bridge there.
And it's Cathal Malone winning the ball in the middle of the field, trying right through the centre. Kieran Russell hand passed it one-handed into the centre. Shane Golden trying to get control of it, but it's won back, and the breaking ball comes out to Cathal Malone, still trying to get through, pulled to the ground, and it's going to be a free and dead straight in front of the goal. A bit of panic defensive work by the Eireog men on that occasion. Again, it's going to be Alex Morey that's going to get this ball and over the bar. There's a yellow card after applying there to Niall McMahon on that occasion. Alex Morey once again dead straight in front of the goal, just outside the 20-metre line, has an opportunity to once again regain that 3-point lead that the Bridge have enjoyed for most of this game, and this is the opportunity as Chris Maguire standing right on the spot, now moving away, 5 inside in the Eireog goal at the moment, and Philly Walsh is the man right in the middle of 2 on each side. They won't apply, he slots the ball straight over the bar from the stick of Alex Morey. 13 points to 10 it is here as we head in, as the clock will tell us 8 minutes plus the additional time, which will be easily a 3 or 4, especially with the water break as well. But again, it's going to be an attack from Michael Maloney, a long ball dropping into the centre. Darren O'Brien trying to win that ball back, he wins it. Now he'll get room to strike it, releases the ball out to Daniel Russell, again looking for time, back to Darren O'Brien. He has time to snap this one in, but the ball looks like it's gone to the left of the goal, and it's gone wide. That was a very important ball from an Eireog point of view, trying to cut that deficit back. Derek Fahey is back on the goal. Is there a magic moment in this game for either side that will pull something out of the fire? Let's see what will happen. It's going to be Derek Fahey back on the goal line in no hurry whatsoever, wiping the hands on the ball, and his point in that closing stages of the action in that first half will be talked about for the rest of this championship. Long ball from out the field, up they go for a ball breaking to the ground, about to be picked up, almost picked up by Kevin Brennan, but again surrounded by players on the far side of the field, trying to get it away. Back out it goes to this side of the field. Again, Marco Donnelly getting it back. Conor O'Halloran is out there on the tick of it, and again winning the ball. Is going to be a free for the Sixmilebridge men right out there in the middle of the field. Alex Morey is there to take it. Chris Maguire moving away, and the frustration seemed to be on that occasion. They had the ball, they had control of it, but again the Sixmilebridge men winning the free back here. Kevin Brennan handing the ball to Alex Morey, placing the ball back to Jarlath Donlan, shall I say, and he's going to place this one from right out here. Has he the direction here? He's absolutely in top form at the moment. This is a difficult free, there's no doubt about that, and but we'll see what's this is going to be. There he is, on the outside, the 65-metre line. Alex Morey high, will it curl in? That's an absolutely superb strike from about 66 metres out, almost on the sideline, straight over the bar, and it's 14 points to 10. Sixmilebridge lead by 4. Ball coming out to this side of the field, out from Conor O'Halloran. Long ball from way out the field. Is it going to stay in play? No. The ball goes to the left and it goes wide. 14-10. The Bridge enjoying it. Kevin Cooney out to the middle of the field. It looks like Kieran Hassett could see some action down in the middle of the field at the moment, and just looking down there on the sideline, it's going to be Derek Fahey back on the sideline. Chris Maguire looking out to the sideline. No activity out here at the moment, and now it's going to be Derek Fahey with the puck out to the far side of the field. Ball dropping into the air. Jamie Shannon aside under this one. Ball goes back to the ground. Cathal Malone trying to get the ball back into his hand. On the second occasion he does. Being challenged on the far side by Aidan McGrath. Now tries to get room to strike it into the centre of goal. Ball, Jason looking at it down there, trying to get that ball away. Goes to the ground in the middle of the field on that occasion, and it's going to be a free. Alex Morey making his way across to the far side of the field, trying to come away with it, and it's going to be Shane Morey hand passing the ball up to the cousin Alex on this occasion. Changes looking like also on the Eireog side. It looks like possibly Niall O'Connor might be making his way into the side as well. So we'll keep an eye on the substitutes that we can see on the sideline at the moment, and will they take their place. Alex Morey with this free outside the 65. High ball dropping right in. This one is going to be taken off the line inside by Kieran Russell. Looks around, looks up fast, gets the ball out to Ty Kennellan. Ty Kennellan trying to control it, but again he's challenged out in the middle of the field. Shane Golden wins the ball, looking for support, looks it across to Alex Morey. Now he has time, motionless standing, sends the ball in, and he sends the ball straight over the bar. Great work out here outside. Shane Golden was the man that released it out to Alex Morey and sent it over the bar. 15 points to 10 it is, with 5 minutes left in this game.
Yeah, no, I thought he was looking for, they were waiting for the sideline to come in. They have it mid now, all right, yes.
Again looking down, yeah, absolutely looking down there. Chris Maguire once again, the sun beginning to shine down here. It's Darren O'Brien that's coming off the Eireog side right down here. Score of 2 superb points this afternoon. It's going to be a puck out. It's out to Kieran Russell. Closing stages of the game. The Bridgemen extending their lead. 15 points to 10 it is. Into the corner it goes. Brian Carey is back there. Ball going inside to Mark O'Donnell. Will he get first to it? No, he won't. Cayman Morey is back there. He coming over with the ball up along the line on this side of the field. Close to the line. Trying to get the ball away. Kevin Brennan wins it back for Eireog. Trying to go through. Pull to the ground. It's going to be a free in on the 20-metre line. Danny Russell will take this one. It could be an opportunity for somebody maybe to possibly make a fast run, but he'll possibly send it as best he can. Looking into the centre, no sign of any player making that run. It's going to be Danny Russell is going to stand over this free for the Eireog men. They're 5 behind. Will this make it 4? He sends the ball straight in, the ball going in and going to the left of the goal, and it goes wide. 15-10 it stays. 3.5 minutes left in this game in Cusack Park. More changes on the Eireog side. Coming on is going to be Kevin Minahan.
Yeah, we spoke about it still, the possibility that, Eireog might need a goal, to put real pressure on the Bridge. I think the Bridge are comfortable there now. Eireog will be disappointed. They're probably missing chances that they need to get to stay in the game. With 5 points, you'd say they need a goal or maybe 2.
Again, the ball going out over the line. Yeah, Jamie Shanahan smiling at Charlotte Donlan, trying to control the ball from the bounce, but the ball going over the line. Line ball for Eireog right down here in front of us. Kevin Brennan is the man waiting for this line ball. He's going to take it. He's going to place it on the line. There's going to be changes. Kevin Moynihan coming on to the Eireog side. We'll keep an eye and see who's coming off in just a moment. It's going to be a line ball for Eireog right down here inside their own 65-metre line. The man that's coming off is Ty Kennellan coming off the Eireog side. Now it's taken into the centre. Talk about putting a man under pressure. Out to the far side. Kevin Moynihan getting the first ball into the middle of the field. Back it goes to this side of the field. Noel Purcell trying to win the ball, winning the free, pushing the back, and it's going to be a free and once again for the Bridgemen and for Alex Morey. He's going to call back, yes, he's going to call up his brother Cayman to take this one just outside his own 65-metre line at the moment. The clock will tell us 28 minutes gone here. Your commentary compliments of Blossoms on the go at centre point in Hermitage as Cayman Morey is coming up to take this one as the linesman Jarlath Donlan once again pointing to the spot. Referee Chris Maguire has gone back up to the far side. Don't forget, later on today, right here in the park, Broadford versus O'Callaghan's Mills, and of course later on this evening, live commentary coming up again of Kilmaley versus Cracklow in that eagerly awaited clash. Wolfe Tones and Clarecastle in Sixmilebridge at 6:30, and the neighbours clash Is it half 3, Tom, in the bridge?
Half 3,
it's vehicle and white gate on that occasion. A tame affair promised on that in Sixmilebridge. It's going to be a push in the back. It's going to be a free in once again for the bridgemen just inside the 45-metre line. And that spark that we spoke about 10 minutes ago has definitely got out of this game.
Yeah, I think the bridge are using all their experience. They're slowing down the play. They're see, Kevin Morey was in a great rush up to take the free, wasn't he there? Didn't go long. They're just going to see it out. They're using their experience. They're going to see this game out without overextending themselves. And unfortunately for Eireog, I suppose, the promise that they showed early on is just petered out in the second half. I think just, those bad wides, I think, just sucked the life out of them.
And it's Alex Morey once again with this free, and once again ball going in and going straight over the bar. 16 points to 10. Sixmilebridge lead here by 6 going into the closing stages. And of course tomorrow we have the final game of the first round, which is Ballyea versus Crusheen. Again live here on Clare FM, Clare TV here in the park. Again a huge game to look forward to. Up the ball goes to the middle of the field. Trying to win back is Tom Down. Trying to get the ball. Get a second chance. He does. Very close to the line. Scoops the ball into the centre, into David McNamara. David McNamara trying to open up that defence, comes out to Daniel Russell. Daniel Russell driving through the centre, trying to find Shane O'Donnell. Ball comes off his stick, breaks out to Kevin Morey, pushing the back, says the referee, and it's going to be a free in on the 20-metre line right down here. And there's no choice in this one, make no mistake about it. This has to be a goal opportunity for the Eireog men. Derek Fahey coming out of the goal there, and again Tom Downs down there as well. Referee Chris Maguire, Kevin Morey down on the ground at the moment, and referee Chris Maguire still trying to get the players back to attention. It's going to be a free in for Eireog. Well, it was a free in for Eireog. Let's see what will happen now. It's going to be Daniel Russell possibly that'll go for this one. Cayman Morey just receiving treatment just outside the 20-metre line at the moment, and just taking a knock on that occasion, Tommy.
Yeah, and again, it was probably after the free that was originally given, and there was a bit of a niggle or something, and again, Chris Maguire is just going to wait and until the injured player's up, in fairness. The bridge physio was in looking at it, so the play couldn't continue. Will Danny Russell have a go for it? He'll have to have a go for it. This is the opportunity and this is the time to do this well. He will definitely have a go for this one. Let's see what happens with Danny Russell. Eireog are 6 behind. We're into the closing stages of this game. Danny Russell well back from the ball, making that familiar 2-metre run. Somebody waiting for the breaking ball. Referee Chris Maguire again is going to halt the play. The early run is made by the Eireog men. Let's see what happens. It's going to be Danny Russell, and again the ball skinning the top of the crossbar, going over the bar. It's back to a 5-point gain, 16 points to 11. Sixmilebridge lead here, and the clock will tell us there's 31 minutes gone in this second half. Derek Fahey getting ready for the puck out back down here to our right hand side. Yeah, and again, if it was his day, probably he'd have gone for a goal, but he's missed a couple. But the bridge probably comfortably see out the game there by that 5 or 6 points. Ball dropping in to the middle of the field once again. Again the ball going loose. Cathal Malone winning the ball for the bridgemen, being chased by Danny Russell, heading for the 65-metre line. Takes the shoulder out there from David McNamara, releasing ball back to Evan McInerney. Evan McInerney's ball half blocked down, comes back to Cathal Malone, now loses the ball, back to Kevin Brennan, trying to drive the ball down. Eireog on the attack, down to the far corner. Shane O'Donnell and Shane Morey trying to get this one. Shane O'Donnell winning the ball on the 20-metre line, trying to get inside, will he get room to strike it? Back out to O'Donnell brothers combine. He sends the ball in and sends it over the bar from the stick of Mark O'Donnell, taking it from the brother Shane and slotting it over the bar. Now there's 4 between them here, as 32 minutes gone here in this second half. And again, substitutions down on the sideline at the moment. It's going to be Cathal Lynch getting ready for the action, and if he does come on, it'll be very, very little action he will see. Let's see what happens. To the far side of the field, the ball breaking out. It's won back there by Aidan McGrath, back to Kieran Russell. Long ball way out the field, dropping into the danger zone. Up to go for it. Ball breaking inside. It's won out down the middle of the field by Michael Maloney, trying to go through. Will he get room to strike the ball? Still in front of the goal, but it's picked out of his hand. Back out to this side, looking around, sending the ball across, looking for Kevin Brennan, trying to find him. He does on the far side. Pam O'Reilly gets the stick in just at the right time. Comes back out to Evan McInerney, and Evan McInerney back up in the centre. The Conor Deasy, a sweeping attack from the bridgeman out to this side of the field. Shane Golden's going to get the ball here from the bounce right in front of us. Kevin Minan facing up to him. Shane Golden trying to go through, being held back, pulled back, and it's going to be a free in for the bridge on the 20-metre line here. Cathal Chaplin getting ready for the action right down here in front of us at the moment, and Alex Moore is going to make his way to the 20
20-metre line. 16 points to 12. Sixmilebridge lead here by 4 points with 33.5 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, there again, the Bridge were quite comfortable at the back. They broke up the play. Conor Deasy into the midfield and then elected to go along to Shane Golden, who, probably was one-on-one there and he fancied his chances, but I think it was Moynihan decided that he wasn't going to let him in, so it should be a tap over for Alex Morey to see out the game on, there's 33.5 minutes gone, so this could be the last puck of the game.
Cathal Lynch coming on to the Sixmilebridge side out in the middle of the field. Evan McInerney making way in this closing seconds of action right down here at the moment, and Rory Shanahan also getting ready out of holding for the last 3 or 4 years. Well, certainly holding with Sixmilebridge point of view, and maybe he's getting ready for action as well down on the sideline. It's going to be Alex Morey about to tap this one surely over the bar. 16-12 it is at the moment, and he strikes this ball and over the bar it goes. 17 points to 12. Sixmilebridge leading by 5 with 34 minutes on the clock here. Chris Maguire moving back past the 65-metre line. Ball pucked out to Kevin Moynihan out on the far side of the field, trying to win the ball back. Now it's a rogue attack, and again breezing through the centre with full flight, taking the ball across to the far side of the field. Shane O'Donnell is there, great run out there outside, but in the middle of the field, and it's going to be a free in once again on the edge of the 20-metre line, and again it's going to be looking out at the sideline at the moment, and there's exactly 5 between them. Will there be another opportunity somewhere? There is an opportunity, and they're looking out to the sideline, and it's going to be surely they have to go for the goal at this stage to just put some perspective on this game and the way the clock is going at the moment. There's 35 minutes on the clock. It's going to be Daniel Russell placing this ball, skinned the top of the crossbar the last time, probably go more direct on this occasion. Let's see what happens. Has to go for the goal for the Eireog men, and again there's a gathering of players. Now he's about to strike this one. It's low, it's getting into the back of the net, it goes, and Chris Maguire down there, the ball going into the back of the net, and again putting it down, just looking down there at the moment.
I think our old player number 19 could be in trouble. He pulled the helmet off one of the Bridge players, and by the letter of the law, a yellow card. A yellow card it is back down here, and again everybody going back out, and it looks that goal like doesn't count. Yeah, no, it doesn't. He's going to take it again. It looks like Daniel Russell is going to take it again on this occasion on the 20-metre line, and that by any standard was a let off. Let's see what happens. Daniel Russell again placing this ball. It's 17 points to 12. There's 36 minutes gone here in the second half, and again, as we were saying, it has to be a goal opportunity. Daniel Russell with this ball, it's low, it's hard, he strikes and the ball is blocked inside. It comes out to Pam O'Reilly, winning the ball out, trying to clear it out of danger. Back to Derek Fahey, the goalkeeper, and he drives the ball into the wide open space as the referee blows the final whistle here in Cusack Park. It's victory for the Sixmilebridge men. Yeah, and again, probably expected coming into the game, the Bridge as county champions, would have thought they'd have enough for Eireog today. And again, the Bridge, while they weren't over impressive, I think they did enough to use their experience. I think, Cayman Morey and Shana Morey at the back, were always in control. Up front, I think Alex Morey, really, shone out again, as he did last year, both from freeze and play. Eireog, on the other hand, I think probably, they'll be disappointed that they didn't push on there in the second half, particularly when the Bridge were down to 14 players, and, we spoke at different stages of the second half what a goal would do when, it just didn't happen. And maybe, I think, Shane O'Donnell was very anonymous there, for the second half, and they just couldn't get him into the game. The Bridge had lots of players in the midfield, but I think on the day, thoroughly deserved by the Bridge. Lots of work to do. You'll be talking to Davy, or someone will be talking to him after, and he'll point out 5 or 6 things that they can do to improve the next day, which they can. And, it's round 1. Eireog will take away the positives out of today. There's a game again in 2 weeks' time, and that's everyone's county final in 2 weeks' time. Tommy, can you explain to me what happened? We were building up this game as it went on. I know the sending off from Alan O'Reilly took some spark out of the game, but the funny thing about it, as we've seen on many occasions, it put the spark into the side that were down to 14, and it just seemed to fade out of Eireog. I know the stakes weren't as high as they will be in 2 weeks' time, but they definitely faded out of the game. Yeah, and again, I think, once the Bridge went down to the 14 players, they didn't lose their composure, they didn't lose their shape, and they brought all their experience to bear in today's game, and try as Eireog might, and Eireog didn't want for effort or work rate or that, is that they just couldn't break down that Bridge defence. They relied on Danny Russell for frees and Darren O'Brien to a certain extent and Shane O'Donnell, but they just didn't have enough threat up front. The Bridge were quite happy, to get up front, keep popping away. And I think, probably the indiscipline maybe of Eireog, left Alex Morey with a couple of frees there that normally, with more composure, with an extra body back that they rushed in, they were too anxious. So, look at the Bridge, deserving winners on the day. They're still county champions, and will take that performance forward, albeit they'll have to improve. Eireog, on the other hand, will take the positives out of it, and in round 2 in 2 weeks' time, bring something into that, whoever they'll get. We'll all await for the draw.
And welcome back here now to Cusick Park. And it's 12-17, Sixmilebridge, the winners very comfortably in this game ultimately. At half time, you could have said the Sixmilebridge were very much to the fore, but Eireog had a couple of missed chances. I suppose, Patrick, really, it was a case of the old dog for the long road. Eireog did bring with a championship feel to the game today, which we needed, I suppose, more so as much as we had in and Sixmilebridge to last night. So what would you feel of the overall assessment of the game?
Yeah, I suppose Eireog would have been happy enough at half time. 8-5, bit of a breeze to come. You'd think they'd come with everything in the second half, but look, the Bridge showed all their experience there from slowing the game down to winning frees, to converting frees. Eireog won't be happy with their discipline. I suppose they missed a few frees. Danny Russell's normally deadly on the frees. Something that they'll probably have to work on the next day. But as I said, the Bridge look happy with the result. They're in the winner's side for the next draw, and look, there's a lot to work on for both teams.
I suppose the sending off, I suppose we have to discuss it. I suppose it looked to be sending off at the linesman and the referees team were pretty sure about it, and the Sixmilebridge men went. Did it have any impact in the game? Did it even galvanise the Bridge? Did it help Eireog in any way?
I actually didn't think it helped them at all, because they had two men. It was 5-on-7 up here, and they didn't push anyone up in the sweeper, and came out with a load of ball. So they probably should have put someone up and marked Cam and Murray. The Bridge want to always have an extra man back if they're playing with a sweeper. So it didn't help Eireog's cause, and look, they didn't use it to their advantage. It's something that they're going to have to learn from, I suppose, going forward.
I suppose, looking from Sixmilebridge, they seem to have unearthed the next Niall Gilligan, if Alex Murray wants to be called that. Like we were commenting maybe in the free tally, I suppose Sixmilebridge nearly scored everything that had to be scored. Eireog missed 3 or 4, and that probably cost him the finish. Is Alex Murray prepared to now ready to be the Niall Gilligan for the next 10 years in terms of his free taking and his work rate?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, he was our marquee man last year. Throughout the year, he was the main. Wasn't a new find. He's been around for maybe 5 or 6 years, but he really came to the fore last year, and he's bringing that form into this year. He scored some unreal frees. Cam and his brother also came to the fore with long-range frees. So look, it's important. You can see there's 5 points in the game. Eireog missed a few frees, and the Bridge nailed a lot of their frees. So at the end of the day, that's probably the difference.
I suppose we look at Shane O'Donnell as probably if he was given a third jersey, he would probably come off the field with maybe 3 or 4 points or a goal with it and set up a lot. Today, whilst he had a few flashes, he was really anonymous, and you could say like the Sixmilebridge backs handled him well, and while he had a few moments, he actually didn't score, I believe. So that's unusual.
Yeah, I suppose it is, but again, the Bridge are seasoned. They set up well. They're cute. They would have talked about Shane O'Donnell as being Eireog's main threat up front, and with Cayman there as an extra man, he would have always have Shane O'Donnell on his vision, so he'd be always keeping an eye on him as well. And look, obviously he was marking Shane Murray, who's a serious county hurler as well, so he wasn't going to get it easy today. But look, there'll be more to come from Shane throughout the year, and there'll be more to come from Eireog. They were down 2 big men today. The talk is that David Reedy might be back for the second round. So look, if they get past the second round, he could be back for a quarter final. I'm not sure the situation with Aaron Fitz. So they're probably 2 of their 3 big players. So if they get them back, they'll improve, and they could be in with a shout for this championship if they progress.
So there's nobody that's really going to want to take on Eireog, showing the bit of the form they've shown there, because any team that gets within 3-4 points and makes a contest of it with the county champions that have been county champions 4 years out of the last 7, no one's going to want to get them in a losers. No winning team is going to want to get them in a draw in Monday night.
Oh, definitely not. Like Eireog are a lot better than they performed today. As I said, in ill-discipline, they'll be disappointed with scoring 12 points, scoring what did they score with Breeze, 6 or 7 points. They're definitely going to. They have to improve, and they will improve. They have good hurlers. They're a physical team. They're an athletic team. They're well able to mix it up from the short game to the long game. And look, a lot of them will be playing football next week. I suppose the main thing for them now is to come through the football next week with no injuries, and get good recovery, I suppose, this evening and tomorrow.
That's right. Thank you, Patrick. So we'll wrap it up here for the first of a triple header today. And county champions are still county champions, where they're going to be at least to the next round. So the final score here in Cusick Park, Sixmilebridge 17 points, Eireog 12 points. Thank you very much.